Ano bang mas bagay dito? Diba? Ayan. Ito kaya? Masyado malaki? Ito kaya? Sakto lang. Ayan. Hoy! Hello. JecGabay here again with another video. And it's been a while since my last video na nasa harap ako ng camera. The reason why I'm uploading this is because recently, merong discussion sa isang Facebook group where I am a member of, yung Hobby and Geek Talk Philippines. And merong na-mention doon na isang post sa thread, no? So, a certain member by the name of Dennis Muico, shout out to you, sir, posted for us to show our favorite churches in the Philippines, no? Nung nakita ko yon, nasa labas ako actually. I was like trying to buy a new TV. Kasi nabust yung PS4 TV ko for some reason. Anyway, so nung nakita ko yon, hindi na ako makapag-antay na mag-post ng i-share ko doon sa thread na yon kasi I have a lot of things to share to them. I don't know how they would appreciate it, no? But then again, nung lumabas na si comments ko, so si Dennis Muico, he requested to post pictures of our favorite churches in the Philippines. The Hobby and Geek Talk PH page, by the way, guys, is not just about churches and all. It's not about that at all. No? Ito yung isang Facebook group where people of the same interests and hobbies, ranging from all walks of life, are actually in one page and discussing what they love about, like PS4, gaming, sports, or politics, or whatever. Now, Dennis Muico decided to post something about the churches, and he requested that we, the members, post anything that we could contribute in there. So what I did is, ang dami kong kinoments, ito yung listahan ng ipinost ko. And then, meron doon nag-comment, ang sabi niya, si Sir Giancarlo Mercado, sabi niya, this has become the Jack Carillo mini travel vlog. Lol. And then, eventually, you know, since sa dami ng mga pinost ko, they actually liked it. I don't know, I appreciate the reception that they gave my comments. And I actually commented the post of photos and link to the album. Kasi per church na binisita ko, I put it in an album. So, it's not just one photo. So, natuwa yung iba. And then, a few were actually commenting na they were really liking what they saw and hopefully they get to see more. Now, someone from the group asked kung meron daw ba akong YouTube channel. I didn't wanna tell them yet because yung content ko is not really much about my travel and all that jazz, no? Kasi, kinuha ko yung mga pictures na yun, hindi pa uso yung vlogging, or if nauso na yun, hindi ko alam how significant it would have been kung talagang na document ko siya with a video. Hindi, puro pictures lang ginawa ko eh. So, ano nangyari? They were asking, no? Kasi sabi niya, gawan daw namin ng vlog. Kasi some people were actually looking forward to seeing those spots or yung mga sites na binisita ko before. Meron mga nagsasabing hindi pa sila nakabalik doon sa hometown nila or that particular tourist spot or heritage sites. They've been wanting to visit but you know they can't. So they were looking forward to me to put up a vlog. If I could do something about it, sabi ko sige gawan natin ng paraan. Siguro parang mga slideshow na lang or anything like that. But kasi nga hindi ko siya mapuput into a video, no? What I just mentioned them is that mag-collate na lang ako ng mga pictures. I'm just gonna have to describe in the video what happened in there, ano mga personal experiences ko when doing the trip, and a few more tidbits and trivia and other important information about the places, history, and everything. And I'm gonna give you also a little background of how I was able to make all those tours eventually, you know. I'm just gonna have to figure out how to like present everything here in this particular vlog. So kung masasamahan nyo ako, I hope I'm able to cover everything, but let's go ahead and start and make do with what we can for now. And siguro magde-develop and mag-improve na lang ako in the next other posts or uploads to come. So let's start with this. Let's gonna go. Wake up. Oy, Jack. Nonood ka ng porno.
Gago, hindi.
Sus, nakita kita eh. Bilis mag-alt up.
Ko, hindi. Vlog lang to.
Vlog?
Oo.
Tungkol saan?
Gaston Mansion.
Yun ang Gaston yung nasa Disney?
Yung of Duty and the Gaston yung sinasabi.
Eh, saan nga?
Sa Negros to. Yung nag-Google Street View kami.
Yan, tagal na yan ah. 2015 pa yan naka-imbak dun sa baul ng CPU mo kasama ng mga porn files. Uy, wag ako boy. Isang tao lang tayo dito. So, bakit mo nga naisipan?
Syempre, sayang eh. Nung panahon na yun, sana alam ko na kung paano mag-vlog. Sana na-share ko na to noon pa. Saka may pandemic ngayon, matumal yung travel industry. Dapat,
sa bagay,
diba?
Puro ka picture nun eh.
Kaya nga eh.
Saka dito yung mga panahon na may linyahang ang lahat ng natatanaw ng iyong mga mata.
Pag-aari na ating pamilya.
Oo, yun nga.
Ito yung mga panahon na yun, kaya nga nagawa yung Oro Plata Mata.
Okay. Anyway, sige. Ano mong manonood nun eh.
Dul, sige.
Diyan ka
Store
naman,
mo kayo.
dito muna ako. Baka ka dyan.
Back in the 1850s all the way to the early 1900s,
Letter P. Di wag mo yung manual kasi.
plantations were started.
Ayan,
So
yan yung
most
pinal.
of these were idle land, cogon grass, and just small farms. And when the sugarcane plantation was established, you had to set up, before the big mills arrived, you had a small Muscovado mill.
Yeah.
So you had to set up a Muscovado mill, and with that mill you needed to plant a substantial area for sugarcane, so you can produce Muscovado. And most of the plantations that were established, the owners resided in them. So they would set up a house. That's why there are old houses, ancestral homes, scattered, not necessarily in the city. It was only later when, urbanization happened, people started building second homes in the city.
Okay, no wonder in Haro, the people there are referring to Negros Occidental.
Because that's a farm.
That's a farm talaga.
Okay, sugar was started by the grandfather of my grandfather here in Silay back in 1842, 1846. And,
Jack
we were
nandyan.
interrupting him. So 1842, he actually was brought in by Domingo Rojas of Calatagan, the ancestor naman of the Sober Rojas clan in Manila, to set up the plantation in Calatagan. Now what happened after he was there in 1839, by 1842, Domingo Rojas passed away. Actually, he was being harassed by the Spanish authorities. He was put in jail. Finally, he died in jail because they were suspecting him of funding the revolution. As early as that time, 1840s. Yeah, they were already starting. So anyway, because he was free of his contract, he still wanted to produce sugar in the Philippine Islands. So he decided to come down to the Visayas to check out Iloilo. But he was told in Iloilo, go to that island of East Los Negros because it's volcanic and there's fertile soil. So he landed in Silay. It was a little fishing village, not even a town or a city, just a small population. And he started cultivating cane until 1846. He was able to produce the first Muscovado sugar with a steam-driven mill. That was the technology that he brought. That was the reason why Domingo Rojas hired him, because he wanted him to modernize the sugar making, because before that it was Carabao driven and then even people would animal driven mills. He brought in a steam driven mill, so it was already from England, industrial age.
1840s.
So 1846 he produced sugar, and then all the way until 1850s Nicholas Loney arrived in Iloilo. 1855. So Nicholas Loney was looking for something to do. He was a businessman. But of course, as a businessman, he became appointed vice consul of the British government. So when he was going around looking for what to trade, what kind of business to set up, he went to Negros and then saw he was either looking for sugar or tobacco, and he wanted to look for a commodity to export to Europe. And when he saw that there was already some sugar mills, there were three: it was Gaston, Luzuriaga, and Montilla, because they were friends. I guess he taught them how to do it. By that time, the Frenchman was already granted a green card, a permanent residency permit to live in the Philippines. That's why he had raised his 3 children here. He was a foreigner,
Okay.
so he needed a visa to stay in the Spanish territories. 1846, 1855, we were not sure yet how he and Loney got together, but we know that he was a shareholder of Current Company, which is the company that Loney put up to trade sugar. By that time, when Current Company was set up, they were exporting sugar and they were bringing in the mills from the UK, from Glasgow. One of the mills is here, in the back, between the house and the chapel, within 75, the mill. A lot of Ilonggo families, by that time, fiber industry was going down.
Yes.
So, and most of the families before practice, the eldest son took over the business. If you were at number 2, number 3, you had to look for your own, create your own wealth or do something. So a lot of the younger siblings decided to venture into sugarcane farming or sugarcane production. So they got loans from Loney to set up their mill, set up their haciendas. That's why a lot of Ilonggo families from Iloilo are also here, because the younger siblings moved here.
Yeah.
And it's funny, if you notice, there's that they say ang taga diri mga tikalon, and dito are more conservative. I mean, that's that's probably because of ang younger siblings wanted to probably show off to their manongs that I'm as good as you, or yeah. So, and then the sugar boom happened. So of course that didn't help any. So that's the history of that.
The dichotomy of the Ilonggo Negrense sibling rivalry, as we call it.
Yeah, I mean they're all related. They're siblings.
We're all related. We love each other. We hate each other. We're like siblings. I hate you, but I love you. So that's.
So at that time, when you set up a plantation, this was in the middle of nowhere. So you had to provide your own electricity, your own water. So you would set up a windmill. That's a Southern Cross, 1920s, 1930s windmill for water.
Oh yeah, galing.
And then he had a generator. Of course, it's not there anymore. A generator that he would turn on at night for his house and for the people. They would what you call this? He would set up housing for the laborers. Most of these laborers came from Panay. So like the ones here, if you trace the roots, most of them are from Ahoy, which is right across.
Just across.
Yes. Around the same time as the ruins.
So how come this one survived? Walang, no one intended to...
No, they attempted.
Oh, okay.
Well, inside you see there's a Sacred Heart there installed. That was my grandfather used to say, that's one of the promises of the Sacred Heart. Whatever it's installed in a dwelling place. That's why when you bless your house, if you're Roman Catholic, you install the Sacred Heart, because that's one of the promises.
All right.
It will protect everyone in it and the house.
And the entire house.
And the Japanese at the end of the war were already burning a lot of houses in the haciendas, and they were on their way here. That was like at 5:30 in the morning. Everyone had vacated the house because the people in the farm next door already came here and warned them, get out, because they're shooting and killing everyone on site and then burning the houses. So the only ones left at that time was my grandfather and the youngest daughter, my aunt, who's now in her 70s. They were here in the balcony watching the other house in Manapla burning, the Gamboa house. And, he just they were just watching them approach. But he kept on going back to the Sacred Heart and praying. And then my aunt remembers my grandfather saying, well, if it's
It's meant to be.
it's meant to be, it's
Yeah.
meant to be.
Yeah.
So it's all in God's hands. So as the trucks were approaching, coming towards here, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, an American plane comes in and strafes them.
Serve them with.
Wow.
And then so they left. For years, we never knew who the pilot was and all that. 50 years later, the 53rd or 503rd Infantry Division
Okay.
was coming here to celebrate the liberation of Negros. And one of them carried a letter from the pilot asking if, you know, he actually wrote about the story that he was coming back from a bombing mission, and since he was on his way home, he was just flying low, and then he noticed a windmill and a swimming pool.
Oh.
So he decided, I'll take a look, because it got him interested. So as he went down, he saw the Japanese trucks, and he just opened fire. And then he couldn't stay naman to no, but he saw the Japanese leaving. He had to go back to the base, I guess, later.
But that was good enough to drive away the
drive them
Japanese.
away, yeah. So he asked this group that was coming here, he gave the coordinates and said, can you please check if that house is still
Wow.
Nice.
house? There's a shoe house there for the kids. In ruins.
old.
And
Yeah.
French house.
Oh, talaga.
Uy, ganda yun, no? Kasama ka rin sa trip. Pwede rin.
And then of course it was a tennis court before the war, and then basketball became more popular
Yes.
for some reason. And then you have the pool, and then at the back is a man-made island, lake.
Everything, meron. So ano, nakad-shoot na.
But we have plans of, now that you're even putting it on Google now, we're really being pressured now to do something, because like here there's so much history na we need to have a tour guide so people who come here will actually appreciate, you know, more than just seeing and having your photos taken.